Hi, I'm Milana of Milana on the Path, a journey into the light. Welcome to my podcast series, Walking Love in Fifth Dimension. We continue this series with part 3, entitled Self-Love is the Key. Love is the governing energy of fifth dimension, and the only energy that will seed and sustain its growth. In the third part of Walking Love in Fifth Dimension, we explore more deeply the role that we must play as self-loving beings in supporting the unveiling of a dimension designed to save the human race. Where is fifth dimension? How do we access it? Who is responsible for creating the foundation upon which we can build a new reality for living life on our planet? I address these questions and more as we follow the organic unfolding of love's design to heal, nurture, and protect our human existence on planet Earth. Listen, enjoy, and learn.
I know sometimes it feels like, we didn't sign up for this. Like, when is this going to stop? I thought when I came to the work and I did Newborns and Warriors, that was it. And and thank you very much, melanaplains. See you in the next life, I know. I thought so too. I did, because trust me, I was not holding out on you. I didn't say, wait until they get it, that they think this is the end, but it's not. I get things in a timely fashion. And probably had I known that, I'd have been south or somewhere, but not doing, oh man, if they had said, and then you do this, and then you got to do that part, and then after that it's like I really would not have been able to handle it personally. I wouldn't, frankly. So I'm sure it's been meted out like this in relationship to our ability to hold it and to understand it. So this is the unfolding. And I am so grateful that Fifth Dimension is here, because you all will get to have your own experience of organic unfoldment and not rely on me saying it. It will be happening in your own lives. So you don't have to say, well, that's that stuff Milana says. I mean, what does that mean? Fifth Dimension is going to show you organic unfoldment. You get to know what you need to know to do what's in front of you to do. That creates balance. That's not about anxiety. Any need to know is based on fear. Need to know what you don't know is based on fear. Obviously, you don't want to be caught short. You want to make sure that everything's covered. And all of those responses are fearful. I mean, there's a leisureliness to a very high-tech reality. There's a lot to do, a lot going on, and yet we get to move with it as it unfolds piece by piece. And we get to acclimate to that. I'm taking this time to say all of this, and I'm being repetitive, and I'm coming at it from different ends because I don't want to have to say it again. This is it. I want to say it tonight and have it done. All right, let me give you a little bit of information about what I see coming. In this series that we're doing, why we're calling this Walking Love in Fifth Dimension, we're going to be speaking about various topics that are about who we are. I want everybody to realize that when we made this agreement to come here, to do this thing, to get sick, to walk through the illness, to get well by loving ourselves, that we made a complete and total commitment to becoming 100% in the truth of that. There's no partial contracts to self-love. Some people act as if there are, and you can watch people who've done this work act as if, well, I've done my bit, and as if they've done it for somebody else, mind you. And they feel like they've done it. And I'm telling you, they will know that they have not, because there's no partial contracts to this. And because there aren't, loving yourself means you're going to come through the illness and move through unfolding into who you are from all that you have been and all that you will become. This isn't a journey that is about this life. This life is one tiny, tiny little speck of sand, particle size of the expression of you and your total journey. You're not just trying to get through this time. This isn't about making it through, trying to have the most decent time that you can here. Having a human life, getting some things that you want, getting some things done, and feeling like, your life was pretty okay. This is not about that. This lifetime is a vehicle for you to come home to the truth of yourself. This lifetime is a vehicle. It's an opportunity. Loving yourself means loving all of who you are. You can't half do that. Okay? You cannot half do that. And once you start the ball to roll, you've got to roll it all the way along. You must love your total beingness without question. And it's interesting because I hear people say, my relationship with my body, or I hate my mind, or people say these offhanded things. You must understand something. That is not going to work. Whatever it is about your beingness that you are not in relationship to, in love, is your responsibility to handle. Not next week, not next month, not when you get around to it, but now, present time, today. Because what is standing in between you and the total acceptance of yourself and love but illness? And do each one of you know how and why that is and how to deal with it? Do you not have tools? What could you be waiting for? I don't care if it's the toenail on your baby toe on your left foot. It should be counted in as being well loved. There is nothing about you, not a hair, not a follicle, not anything that should go unloved. This is total. And just consider it for a moment. How much sense could it possibly make to leave something out of the love? For what purpose? Can you imagine your being 3/4 loved and 1/4 saying, when am I chopped liver? When do I get to come? You have not enjoyed living in fear. No part of you has. You want to leave a part of yourself languishing out there because you can't seem to get to it? Getting to all of you is your first order of business. All of you. And I really mean that. All of you. Nothing left out. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to go through a series of things that are applicable to who we are in these talks. We're going to talk about ourselves in relationship to who we are. We're doing that. We're going to talk about various subjects. We're going to deal with our relationship with our bodies. We're going to deal with our relationship with relationship. And that's going to be, I feel, one of the most profound parts of this whole process. Because it's not going to be what people think it is, and I'm too jazzed to say that. And because what it means is that perhaps we will be able to hit some new territory. And when I say it's about relationship, guess what? It's about your relationship to you. That's where we begin. So if you want to get a head start, start making sure that all of your pieces and parts are well loved. Fifth dimension requires that we show up fully self-loving. I mean, think about it. We're there. We're saying, yeah, we're going to build in love, and we're not there in ourselves. That's ludicrous. So you got to really look at, if your intention is to do this thing, then make it real. Fifth dimension is so much about making it real. It is about making it real in the truth. No more lies, no more illusion, no more deceit. Making it real. we are going to become some of the most self-evident, obviously present, obviously who we are people on the planet, because that's all we can do now. That's all we can do. Why it's important that you settle with you? Because we're going to take this information and we're going to build upon you. You are the foundation for holding the truth of this information. We can't build this information in your reality of beingness if you are not in a foundation of love with yourself. There will be a conflict. So these Wednesday nights are going to really push you. They really are. They're going to make you work. And that's another thing that you have to know you're signing up for. They're just going to send your being into a whole bunch of shifts and changes to come to the place that it needs to be to make the intention real. So I say that to you now so that you know you will feel this. You will. We have someone in the crowd who's going, yes. Wow. All right. I like that go-go team spirit. Okay. What I know that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to teach, express this information. This is a warm-up for all of us tonight. It really is. And I say that meaning this is our place of getting started. It was Lamel's and my place of getting started with the sound. It's our place of getting started with each other. It's our place of getting started in this movement. I feel like we have an opportunity here to again, as we're having so many of these opportunities right now, to accomplish something very profound, to move life forward in a new way. We have the opportunity to actually actualize and begin to build fifth dimension reality. Someone was speaking with Beryl yesterday, a woman who's very much in the business world. And she had mentioned there was an article in a business publication, strictly third dimension business, that spoke about what is problematic in corporate reality. And one of the things they said was the variances in third, fourth, and fifth dimension. And this was not a metaphysical magazine. Okay? So what I want you to know about that is that, you see, check it out. We are moving through this at this time, this way for a reason. The world is out there perking and moving along. We have a date with the world. Okay? We have a date. And that's what we're trying to get ourselves prepared for. We can't stop path from growing. We can't stop love from saying, this is who you beings are. We can't put a lid on love. And we have decided, by virtue of responding to the call of our own path, that we are going to be involved in being allies with love. And we're on that journey. We're on that journey. When I was walking out there, you know, I stuck the part of the mic in here. So I gotta figure out a way to do this. Got this thing stuck in here. That was fun. Okay, but it was very good about taking that walk because something came to me, question came to me, and I said, let me pose this question to them. Everything that comes to me now is going to be information and material for you. What I wanted to ask everyone is, and this is a rhetorical question, so don't jump in there trying to answer it, okay? But just contemplate it. Where is fifth dimension? Where is it? Is it in Tucson? Is it in Kansas? Is it in Europe? Where is it? Where is fifth dimension? Now, let that question roll one time. And so the obvious thing is like, okay, location, okay. But then, I don't believe you're going to find the answer there. So let's let it swing back around again. And consider the question, where is fifth dimension? And then, when you consider that question, take a deep breath, consider self, and what is the relationship between self and fifth dimension? And when you consider that, I want you to consider, again, after self and fifth dimension, that relationship, ask yourselves again, where is fifth dimension? Okay? So now that I've done all that, I'm going to walk through the answer. Fifth dimension, and I know you all know this, but I'm just finding it a little interesting walking through the particulars of it. Fifth dimension, just like third dimension and fourth dimension and all dimensions, are inside each being. Okay? Sometimes when I talk about fifth dimension, it feels like a place, you know? And it is, except it is not a place outside, but it's a place inside. So, let's sort of start tying some up these pieces together. So why is it that we have to be so impeccable? Because we are the beings that house the dimension that requires impeccability in order for it to exist. You know, I feel like there's a place in here, there's some place in here to see something a little clearer. Why are we working so hard, other than the fact that it's the truth? Why do we need to work so hard to be so clear, to be so impeccable, to be so in our truth about love in relationship to fifth dimension? Because if we're not, it isn't. It can't be. Come. We are the ones that create the reality of fifth dimension just like we did third dimension. It is what goes on inside of us that creates fifth dimension in physical time and space. I know that you know this, but stay with me here. Each one of you has the essence, the aspect, the seeds of fifth dimension inside of you. You are housing in your being that reality which will, in effect, save the human race. That's big. So your responsibility then deepens and expands. It's a different take on it. It was for me when it first came to me. We're each walking around with fifth dimension inside of us. Now, I knew this, but here it struck me. I have it inside of me. So I'm responsible for fifth dimension. It isn't somebody else's job. It's my job. I am responsible for creating it, and I am responsible for keeping it healthy, keeping it as it needs to be. I am also responsible when fifth dimension can't happen. I take responsibility for that. Each one of us has that job. Now, interesting thing is that fifth dimension is a building dimension. Generally, when people build, they build in community. So here's another catch. When we were going through loving ourselves, it was about loving ourselves, the separate self. Not for the purpose of staying separate, but isolating the self so one could get the self in focus and heal the self. But now you know there is an aspect called the whole, the one, where all the parts come together and fit so ever so nicely into this unit of oneness, of which I can't wait to experientially get a take on. I mean, I know it here, but it's like there's a way that I want to see this, but I know it to say that I know it's a one. We all fit very nice and comfortably into this one whole dynamic. All of us, okay? So, what we're faced with here is that beyond loving the self is loving other beings. That's what we tackle in, and it's a tackle, in Travelers, is loving other beings, loving all beingness. Why do we need that piece? Because it's a part of the journey. We're not learning to love ourselves to go isolate and live by ourselves. That is not the original truth about beingness. Okay? So, I know I do that, but it strikes me that way, these things. Because now we have an interrelationship responsibility deal happening amongst the beings. And this is great. You all have a responsibility, let's just say, for example, in this room, to not only yourselves now, but to each other. Okay? Because we're in fifth dimension, activating it in ourselves by our just absolute tenacity and, focus. I mean, we walked here. We have worked really hard. We walked so far that we activated fifth dimension. Okay? We've done that part. Now, okay, fifth dimension is a building dimension. Fourth dimension wasn't. You could just go off on your own. You could stand, you didn't have to talk to anybody, you didn't have to join anybody, people wanted to talk to you, you didn't have to talk to them. You didn't have to stand up if you didn't want to. It was all about what you needed to do in order to love yourself. And that is the deal. And everybody else, just hang in there, I'll be there in a moment when I figure out where I'm at with me. Now we're in a place that we need to connect. We need to link up. We need to build together. And I know, knowing most of you very well, and knowing the history of most of all of us, this is not easy for us. There are more loners, self-isolating, by virtue of the fact that we never felt that much a part of anything anyway, not even our families. So this familial group dynamic is a stretch for most of us. We are not all running to get there. We know that it's necessary, and some of us hold the dream of community. Some of us don't hold the dream, don't want to know. But we realize that we cannot do this without doing that. So we have to learn about community, and we've got to let go of what that meant in third dimension, and now we're in love, which is a whole new ballgame. And it cycles back to what I said about treating each other like God. Treating each other with the respect and honor that you deserve, and each person deserves. That's going to be the basis of our relationship and, of course, our alignment with love. That's how we run our relationships in fifth dimension. Our alignment with love. Those relationships, each person has to clock in being in love in order to be able to relate in love with everybody else.